Hello, YouTubers. My name is Alex Riley,
And my name is Kevin Murphy.
and this is The Hook.
And Ladder Show.
So, this is my turn to talk while Kevin plays his game. As you may have heard in the previous video, he is a freaking offensive beast. I mean, literally offensive. Wait, hang on a second, people. Kevin, am I staring at the people when I look at the camera?
Yes, you are staring at me.
Good. Okay. Now, I'm the defensive beast. We both lead in those different respects. Sadly, my team dropped because in the second game, I had like 3 interceptions with Matt Castle. But now A.J. McCarron's in because Matt Castle's injured. That is one of the ironies of this game. Castle is injured in real life too. Another irony? Tampa Bay 1-3, real life too. I'm not going to mention like Steelers being 2-2 because that's kind of. Wait, are the Browns 2-2? No, the Browns are 0-3. But that's, anyways, off of the fake stuff, onto the real stuff. As a Patriots fan, naturally I was very upset about this game last Monday. But, to be honest, not entirely surprised. The defense surprised me a little bit, but they've been very inconsistent in their play. And then, of course, the offense, needs no introduction. They suck. They're like the worst offense this season. And a lot of it, all of it starts with the offensive line. I understand Tom Brady is not playing well, but he's playing like a quarterback who expects his next sack because he knows it's going to come. Because the offensive line cannot block for crap. I mean, to highlight the difficulties, they took out Solder and Vollmer in the third quarter for Marcus Cannon, someone that most people have probably never heard of before. So, anyways, that's always the trouble there. Tom Brady. When you're quarterback under pressure, you throw to your safety blankets. Those are Gronk and Edelman. He's making terrible decisions. He's throwing to those guys in, double coverage when he had Danny Amendola open. Now, I don't know if Danny Amendola would have caught that pass or not. And this, I'm talking about not the Kansas City game, the previous game. But, sorry, what was that?
I'm just surprised he's not injured.
I'm surprised he's not injured, too. Watch, his first catch of the year, he's going to get injured. Money. Fake money. My Madden Mobile money. Anyways, and then also you have to look to the coaching too. Let me lay out a theory for you people. Belichick, the GM, sucks. Belichick, the coach, frowns on him greatly. Belichick has had very good first-round picks, but overall his bust rate from rounds 2 through 4 is uncanny. He gets lucky in the later rounds. Some of it is actually good analysis. Other, it's just kind of like, oh, hey, Tom Brady. But in general, he's not a very good GM. He should not be making those picks. He should have a huge say in it because of the fact that he is really good at picking first-round picks. But, which uncannily, I'm using that word too much, has 50% bust rate usually in the first-round players. So that's one thing. 2, they've lost a lot of their positional coaches. So they lost Scarnecchia to retirement. They've lost some other guys to retirement. They've lost a few who have just moved on to supposedly greener pastures, which it's looking to be that way for them probably. And now they have new guys. And my question is not necessarily all the coaches. You can't really judge the offensive line coach until you've seen a full year. Then we'll know. But as far as like wide receiver and DBs, they are terrible. I understand that they don't pick very well. I mean, sadly, Aaron Dobson was like the highest picked in wide receiver in years. That is sad, people. Sad. But on top of that, they can't develop them. Second-year wide receivers and defensive backs have a huge bust rate with the New England Patriots in recent memory. Sadly, as an example of this, Kansas City, Logan Ryan was benched over Malcolm Butler, who is playing really well, but Logan Ryan, man, he was playing very well before that. How do you explain? I mean, it's probably just terrible play here, but this is all conspiracy theory, but you have to take into account the coaching on this one, too. They have failed repeatedly to develop wide receivers and cornerbacks.
And draft. It's you got to put an effort into your receiving core, and you have to have faith that, yeah, your quarterback is great, but it's kind of like watching high schoolers go out there and play. Right?
Oh, thank you for that segue, because that brings me to my next point. Tom Brady. Great quarterback. Good quarterback now. Former elite. In fact, in my opinion, I don't really consider Peyton Manning entirely elite. He had an elite season, but I don't consider him elite, and here's why. Elite quarterbacks do have a tipping point. They may play for a while, but they have that, that wall that they hit. Favre hit that wall in Green Bay. Manning hit that wall in Indianapolis, albeit forced by injury. Tom Brady's hitting that wall now. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to another team. I'd be extremely surprised. I also wouldn't be surprised if he just stopped playing. I also wouldn't be surprised if he kept playing, so really his options are open. But to put Favre, for example, when he came to Minnesota, why did they do so well? The team around him was really good. Talent. Minnesota has tons of talent. They just are never able to put it into action. They're never able to produce. And I think with Mike Zimmer and Norv Turner, they may be able to do that now. But, Favre had all that talent around him that allowed them to make it to the playoffs, and arguably they should have made it to the Super Bowl. But, you can't expect the calls to go your way when you're turning over 6 times. Peyton Manning, record-setting season. Why? Well, even though they've made a couple of questionable contracts with... T.J. Ward was a solid pickup, but Aqib Talib got way too much. And so did... oh my gosh. DeMarcus Ware. I wanted to call him DeMarcus Lawrence for some reason. I mean, my gosh, he's thinking about college, which good for him. But, I mean, that shows you where he's at in his career and the kind of money they offered him. But the point is that they surrounded him with talent anyways. That offense is prolific. Losing Eric Decker didn't matter because they picked up Emmanuel Sanders, who's arguably better. And on top of that, they've got a young wide receiver in Cody Latimer who will likely produce as a good speed receiver. Maybe out of the slot. Maybe he becomes the guy that stretches the field at some point when Welker's gone. But the point is that a great quarterback, former elite, can produce at elite standards when surrounded by talent. Belichick has relied too heavily on Brady's ability. And now, as he's getting older, not only is it that ability is going to reach a tipping point, but also he's not surrounding him with talent. I mean, honestly, I don't know what to say about the offensive line. The interior sucks. Brian Stork is the future, though. I will say that. But the tackles are mind-boggling. However, everyone else, the wide receivers, the running backs, it's about picking the right talent. You need to. He's historically undervalued the wide receiver position, and it's just all this is brewing into a perfect storm, showing that over the last few years, even though the Patriots have been able to produce, they have fundamental issues. Now, after I spent 7 minutes about talking about my team, I'm very sorry. Credit to the Kansas City Chiefs. Sorry that Joe McKnight injured himself already in practice again. That's sad. But Jamal Charles coming back is huge for that team. I mean, Alex Smith is a good quarterback, and they've surrounded that guy with reasonable talent. Wide receiver could do a little better, but having Dwayne Bowe back really helped against a very inconsistent Patriots defense.
We have very different opinions about Dwayne Bowe, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's great, but I mean, yeah, no, really the breakout star there was Travis Kelce by far. Sorry I didn't mention him before. Let's see, what is another game that I want to talk about?
There's so many.
Yeah, there were. You took my Steelers Tampa Bay one. That was just mind-boggling. Vincent Jackson is showing why he's still on that team and still producing very well. I mean, here's the biggest takeaway. They learned that Mike Glennon is the quarterback of the future. Quarterbacks are going to have growing pains. You have to understand that. You need to give them a chance. I'd say after 3 or 4 years, you learn whether your quarterback is a bust. Unless it's Tim Tebow, in which case.
Interesting news. I just got intercepted.
Oh. This is a first, people. He got intercepted. Oh. Yeah, but he's going to get a sack. He's going to get a sack for... Yep. Yeah, it didn't matter. They got a safety. So, nice job. So, really, I don't have much else to talk about. Oh, you talked about the Minnesota-Green Bay game? Yeah.
You should be talking more about it. Your family is a Minnesota family. You should be talking.
The way I see that game is Green Bay's offense is really good. It's the same thing. A weaker Green Bay team throttles a completely severely weakened Minnesota team. And also the good players on that squad were just not playing well. It's just history repeating itself. They're going to come back. Don't worry. Not playing Bridgewater was a smart move, in my opinion. Even though it wasn't a high ankle sprain, it was an ankle sprain. And I don't know what it is, but they perform flat against Green Bay every time, especially at Lambeau. Oh, you know what? I'll talk about games that I'm looking forward to. I just realized I don't know what's coming up. I know what I'll talk about. The San Diego Chargers. San Diego Chargers are doing really well right now. What they're doing is they're playing smart games. I mean, that's really all you can say. Phillip Rivers is being very well protected, and he's got very good pocket presence. The emergence of Eddie Rowe has been huge. The fact that they have Antonio Gates and Ladarius Green is unfair to begin with. Keenan Allen, but Keenan Allen hasn't been producing as well because they're going to look to shut him down. And also, wide receivers everyone has growing pains second year. Come on. You know, the best of the best, the true elites, they show themselves in their second year. But the ones who will be good anyways show themselves in the second year just with some growing pains. Eddie Royal, man, that was huge. His emergence on the team is really helping them a lot, especially given the fact that they don't have any running backs right now. I think one of the most interesting games of the year will be Denver versus San Diego. I would have said Denver, New England again, because Manning versus Brady, but who knows if it's even going to be Manning versus Brady. It's going to be some sad semblance of it, because they barely squeaked out a win against Oakland at home. So that game falls off. My top few teams right now would have to be the Chargers, given their ecstatic play. Denver, because let's face it, they haven't been slowed down, but their problem is that they can't let offenses come back in the second half, because it will burn them one day. Seattle, obviously, they had a dropped game to, almost said Chicago, the Chargers, but they're learning from it. And let's see, what's another NFC team? Cardinals, thank you. Really, that division again, man, with the exception of the Rams, that division is still solid. You know, they may not be as strong as they were last year, but it's still going to be a very strong division, and the wildcard team is definitely going to come from there. That's all I got to say. You know, unless San Francisco and Arizona start dropping games, or even Seattle, that's going to be where it comes from. So, I mean, that's all I have to say for now. I'm sorry I rambled on for a long time about my own team. Next time I'll come more prepared. But anyways, my name is Alex Riley.
And my name is Kevin Murphy.
And this is the Hook and Ladder Show, people. Please subscribe. Please click that like button. Just view us even. And we'll look to share our video and get more videos out than we have.
Give us some ideas, too. We're just here and we're just kind of recapping. We want some comments.
The comments section, definitely. We'll come out with some fantasy stuff. We'll come out with some more actual analysis of some of the games. And until next time, YouTubers, stay classy.